It was supposed to be a simple family gathering until my sister, Rachel, took credit for the project I had poured my heart into, in front of everyone. I had been silent for years, letting her take what was mine. But one phone call exposed the truth, and everything changed. My name is Ariella. And that night at the family dinner, my whole world cracked. I had been working for weeks on a marketing campaign that could change everything for me at work. Every late night, every hour spent, crafting ideas, building strategies, all mine. I was finally proud of something I had created, something I could call my own. But little did I know that pride would be ripped away from me in front of everyone I loved. The dinner was like any other family gathering, full of forced smiles and meaningless small talk. Rachel was across from me, as always, talking loudly about her day. She was the golden child, the one who always stole the spotlight. But tonight, something inside me snapped. "So, guess what, everyone?" Rachel said, looking at our parents, her voice dripping with excitement. "I was asked to present that big marketing campaign I've been working on. You know, the one based on new consumer trends?" The company loved it. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. I stared at her, trying to process what she was saying. That was my work. This was talking about my project, the one I had worked so hard on. I had spent sleepless nights researching, drafting, presenting my ideas to the team. And now, here she was, casually claiming it as hers. I looked around the table, hoping someone would say something, call her out, but no one did. My parents nodded, along beaming at her like she had just won an award. "That's wonderful, Rachel," my mom exclaimed, a proud smile on her face. "I knew you had it in you." My heart dropped to my stomach. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to say something, to scream at them, but I couldn't find the words. My voice caught in my throat. Had she taken everything from me so icily? Rachel continued, unaware of the storm brewing inside me. "They were so impressed, Mom. They said it was one of the best proposals they'd seen. I guess I've really found my stride. I couldn't keep sitting there anymore." The anger was building, and I felt like I might explode. I couldn't stay quiet and let her take all the credit, not after everything I had done. But I still said nothing. I pushed my chair back and stood up, suddenly feeling like a ghost in the room. "Excuse me?" I muttered, barely recognizing the shakiness in my voice. I walked out of the room before anyone could say anything else. I wasn't sure where I was going, but I needed to get away from that table, from the fake smiles, from the lies. My heart was racing, and the weight of everything I had buried inside me suddenly felt unbearable. I leaned against the hallway wall, squeezing my eyes shut, trying to fight back the tears that threatened to fall. How had I let this happen? Work, my passion, everything I had poured into that campaign, and she just stole it. I should have said something. I should have stood up for myself. But no, I sat there quietly, like I always did, watching her take everything. Watching my parents look at her like she was perfect. But I couldn't keep living like this. Not anymore. I couldn't keep letting her take everything from me and pretending like it didn't matter for the first time. I realized something. I couldn't stay invisible anymore. Not for her. Not for anyone. It was time to speak up. It's been days since that dinner, and the anger hasn't subsided. I've barely spoken to anyone in the family. Stay in my room, scrolling through work emails, doing anything I can to avoid the painful reality that Rachel took credit for my work. I can't stop replaying the scene over and over in my mind. The way she smiled as she spoke. How casually she stole everything I'd worked for. I still can't believe I didn't say anything. I should have called her out in front of everyone. But I didn't. I stayed silent, letting the injustice settle like a weight on my chest. The phone rings, pulling me out of my thoughts. I glance at the screen. It's my boss, David. I hesitate before picking up. "Hello, Ariella." "Hey, it's David." His voice is serious, and immediately I feel a knot tighten in my stomach. "Listen, I need to talk to you about something important." I heard from the team that Rachel mentioned she was behind the marketing project you just finished. Oh, jeez. Telling people that the work was hers. I don't even have to ask who told him. I already know. My stomach churns and I feel the heat rise in my chest. What? My voice cracks as I speak. She did what? I know this is tough, but we need to clear this up. Your project, Ariella, it's been assigned to her as if she was the one who created it. And now there's confusion within the company. The tears start to sting at the corners of my eyes, but I fight them back. David, that's not right. It was all my work. She didn't do anything except take credit for it. My words come out in a rush. She's been doing this for years, and I'm so tired of it. He sighs on the other end of the line. I get it. It's just ... This is becoming an issue. You need to let me know if you want me to address this. I swallow hard, trying to steady my breath. Yes, please. I can't let her get away with this anymore. She's already taken so much from me. I'm done being quiet. There's a brief pause, and then David responds, more calmly now. I'll handle it, Ariella. I'll make sure the truth comes out. But I need you to be ready for some fallout. I'm ready, I reply, my voice stronger than I expected. This has gone on for too long. It's time I stop letting her take what's mine. I hang up the phone, the weight of everything still hanging in the air. But something shifted inside me. I don't feel quite as small anymore. I feel like I've taken the first step towards something bigger. Rachel thinks she can get away with stealing my hard work and stealing my place in this family. But I'm done being her silent victim. I'll expose the truth. I'll take control. And for the first time, I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what I've done. I don't know how I managed to walk into that meeting without shaking. I had prepared for this moment for days, but now that it was finally happening, my heart was racing. I took a deep breath as I stepped into the conference room. Rachel was already there, looking as smug as ever. She glanced up when I walked in, but her smile faltered just slightly when she saw the look on my face. She knew something was coming. Hey, Ariella, she said sweetly. But I could tell there was a hint of nervousness in her voice. What's this all about? You're making us have a meeting about the project. David, our boss, looked between us and cleared his throat. Let's get started. Ariella, we need to discuss the marketing campaign. There's been some confusion about who was behind it. I kept my gaze locked on Rachel, my blood boiling at the thought of her taking credit for my work. I'll clarify, David, I said, my voice calm but firm. The marketing project Rachel has been presenting every single idea, every slide, every bit of research. It was mine. I did all the work. She did nothing except take credit for it. Rachel blinked, her face momentarily pale. Then, in that practiced way of hers, she tried to laugh it off. Ariella, come on. You know, I've been working on the presentation. I told you how well the team liked it. I've just been leading things. You've always been more behind the scenes. I clenched my fists under the table, trying to stay composed. No, Rachel, you didn't just lead anything. You stole my work. I've been putting in hours, months on that project. And you took it. You told everyone at the family dinner that it was your idea. And my boss even confirmed that you've been passing it off as yours at the office. This isn't just leadership. This is theft. David shifted in his seat, looking uncomfortable. Rachel, is this true? Rachel's eyes darted around the room, her usual confidence slipping. Well, I didn't mean for it to be this way. I was just helping out, you know? Ariella was part of it too. She tried to shrug, but it only made her seem more guilty. I leaned forward, my voice shaking but resolute. No, Rachel, don't lie. I've been the one doing the work, and you've been pretending to be the one in charge. And now I'm done. I'm not letting you steal my achievements anymore. You've had your way for long enough, but not this time. It's my work, and I'm taking credit for it. David looked from me to Rachel, his expression softening as he finally understood. Rachel, this isn't acceptable. Ariella put in the time and effort. This needs to be rectified immediately. I felt a weight lifting from my shoulders. The truth was out. Finally, for the first time in a long while. I felt like I was standing up for myself, not just at work, but in every part of my life. I wasn't going to let Rachel keep using me as her stepping stone. I wasn't invisible anymore. Rachel's face flushed a deep shade of red, and I saw the panic in her eyes. But I wasn't backing down. I want everyone in the office to know that I was the one behind the marketing campaign. Not you, me. Rachel opened her mouth, but no words came out. She was caught. The lies had been exposed, and she couldn't do anything about it. "I'll make sure the team knows who did the work," David said, his tone final. "I expect the proper credit to be given moving forward." The meeting ended shortly after that. I stood up, my head held high as I walked out of the room. The rush of relief hit me as soon as I was alone. I had finally stood up for myself. I had exposed the truth, and it felt like a weight had been lifted. I wasn't just Ariella, the quiet one, anymore. I was Ariella, the one who wouldn't be silenced, and I wasn't going to let anyone take what was mine again. It's been a week since the meeting. The office buzzed with a new energy after everything came out. Rachel avoided me, and honestly, I wasn't upset about that. It was a relief. The silence between us was louder than any argument I could have had. But that wasn't what had changed the most. What had changed was how I felt about myself. I had stood up for me, and that made everything different. I had expected the aftermath. To be harder, more guilt, more fighting, but instead I felt free. The weight I had carried for so long, the one that kept me hidden in Rachel's shadow, was finally gone. I didn't need to wait for anyone's approval anymore. Then came the phone call from my parents, Ariella. "Honey, we need to talk." My mom's voice crackled on the other end. I'd been expecting this. They couldn't just leave it alone. "What? About?" I asked, trying to keep my tone neutral, though the edge was there. I wasn't going to hide how I felt anymore. "It's about what happened with Rachel," she said. "We're sorry. We didn't realize the extent of everything. We want to make things right." I swallowed hard. The anger from that night was still there, but it was muted now, replaced by something else, something stronger. "No, Mom, it's too late for apologies. You should have seen it long before now, but you didn't. Not when it mattered." There was silence on the other end. She didn't know what to say. I could feel the guilt seeping through the phone. I wasn't sure if she was trying to feel bad for me or for herself. "But Rachel's your sister. She needed our support." "I needed it too," I shot back, my voice firm, but I was always second. "You can't just keep excusing her actions. Mom, she's taken everything from me, and I let her. I let you both make me feel like I was invisible." "You're not invisible, Ariella," she said softly. "You matter. We just know, Mom, you only see her. And I've spent my whole life trying to make you see me. But I'm done now. I don't need you to validate me anymore." There was another long pause, but I didn't feel bad. I couldn't. I've found my own strength, Mom, and I don't need to be in her shadow anymore. "Ariella, please." I interrupted her. "Goodbye, Mom. I've heard this all before. I'm not doing this again. I'm done." I hung up before she could say anything else. The feeling that followed was both terrifying and liberating. My parents might have apologized, but it didn't change the truth. I wasn't going to be the invisible one anymore. I put the phone down and stared at my reflection in the window. There was a new person looking back at me. The girl who had been afraid to stand up for herself was gone. I didn't need their love or approval anymore. What I needed, I realized, was my own respect. I had earned that project, that recognition. I had earned my place in this world. I smiled at myself. No more waiting, no more hiding, and for the first time, I owned it.